It is Get Back to Basics Day. Today we're going to talk about the 3 things that you need to move your claim forward with the disability system. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the 3 basic fundamentals that you need. The 3 basics, right? Foundational 3 things that you need in order to get a VA disability claim pushed through and get a decision, right? So we're going to kick off with number 1. Number 1 is you need a current medical diagnosis. Now, having a diagnosis while you were in service, that's completely different. You need a current medical diagnosis, something that you've been diagnosed with in, let's say, just the last year, okay? This is, you can get it from the VA, from healthcare, you can get it from a private, healthcare provider. You need the diagnosis. So if you have headaches, right? Headaches is a big one. If you have headaches and you don't go see a doctor, but you just pop Advil all day long, that's not going to cut it, right? You need some doctor that you have seen for the condition that you are claiming when it comes to the VA. We'll stick with headaches throughout this because I think it'll help give you a really good understanding of some of the different ways that we need to go about getting this information. So, the first thing you need, current diagnosis. The next thing you need is an in-service occurrence or an in-service aggravation of that condition, right? In-service occurrence. If you went to sick call 10 times in 2 years, the last 2 years of you being in the service, and you complained of headaches all the time, that's an in-service occurrence or a connection to something that happened in service. Now, if the condition is aggravated, that means it's a condition that you were diagnosed with or that it predated your time in the service. Flat feet. I was diagnosed on my entrance exam down at MEPS with having pes planus, right? That doesn't mean that I had plantar fasciitis, but I had pes planus, right? Now, pes planus, for those of you that don't know, is flat feet. Plantar fasciitis is when the fascia gets irritated and starts giving you bone spurs off your heel. Now, I developed plantar fasciitis during my time in the military, but I had pes planus going in. So that's an aggravation, not necessarily just an occurrence of it happening. Let's go back to headaches for a minute. With regard to headaches, if you were having migraines prior to going into the service, but you only saw the doctor once or twice per year, and then you started having to go see the doctor when you're in the service 5 to 10 times a year, then you have a full aggravation of a condition. So in-service occurrence or aggravation is number 2. Number 3 is the medical connection or the nexus, the medical link between the two. There has to be evidence that connects your current diagnosed disability to the in-service event. Doesn't have to be a direct connection, but it does have to be a connection. Headaches. Let's see. You worked around heavy artillery and you basically were subject to all kinds of noise, regardless of hearing protection, etc. They've had the 3M earplugs issue over the last 15 years. If you are around that stuff, you can directly connect those two. Hey, I was in artillery and I was constantly barraged with firing, whatever it is that you worked on. And that caused me headaches, which made me go to the doctor, etc., etc. So now you've got a full-blown case. Those are your 3 big things. Now, there are 4, really there's 3 types of service connection that you can go for. The fourth is kind of a bonus plan. We've already talked about it a little bit, but we'll get to it in a minute. The types of service connections there are. Direct service connection. That means a current diagnosis can directly be associated with something that happened in service. I was working on the gun range and, on the firing range, and I went out and I aimed my pistol and I shot and the slide flew back and broke my tooth. That is a direct service connection, right? Again, I worked in artillery. I was constantly firing off rounds. That's a direct service connection. Then there's secondary service connection. That means, hey, I had a condition, and I'm going to drill the headaches back in for a minute here. I have a condition that was service connected for PTSD for my time in the military. And because of that PTSD, I started developing headaches to deal with. My body was, putting me through to deal with the anxiety and the stress. Quite honestly, the PTSD, the stress caused my headaches. That's a secondary condition. So you have headaches secondary to PTSD, which has already been service connected. That's your second one. Third one is presumptive. Man, these are the best ones. These are the easiest ones to go with. If you were in Vietnam, exposed to Agent Orange, and you have this condition, that condition, headaches, etc., instant win for you, right? So presumptives are things that are caused or presumed caused by your time in the military. Now, you don't need to prove the nexus for presumptive conditions, but it does not hurt to get that level of detail. Last one is aggravation. This was the bonus, right? You can have something that was previously diagnosed prior to you going into the military. For me, flat feet. But my flat feet were aggravated more and more by wearing the wonderful Navy boondockers. And if you don't know what those are, thank your stars. You're very, very happy about life. But wearing boondockers through boot camp and getting through that, it really takes its toll on your feet because those shoes are flat. They have no support. They're a pain. They're painful to wear. They suck in heat. I can tell you all those things firsthand. So I developed plantar fasciitis because I didn't have proper support in my shoes. So I had pes planus, but it was aggravated to the point of plantar fasciitis inside service. Those are your big things. Remember, you need a current diagnosis, you need an in-service event, and then you need a nexus or a medical link that connects those first two, your diagnosis and your time in service. Types of service connections: direct, secondary, presumptive, and then there's aggravation as a bonus on top of that. Hey, comment below. I know we're getting back to the basics, but comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Give this thing a like, a thumbs up, share it. Watch the video all the way through. I greatly appreciate all of you, and Happy New Year. See ya.